Now that we have the drill press table complete, we're ready to take the next step, and that's adding a fence. And the fence could be nothing more than just a straight piece of hardwood or plywood. The reasons we want to use a fence on our drill press table is because it makes the drilling operations more accurate and repeatable, so you can adjust the fence into the position you want, drill, and then slide your workpiece down that, and to make line boring a little bit easier. And the second reason is that it makes drilling a little bit safer too. So you'll have your fence here to support your workpiece. It's not going to catch on the bit and start spinning, hit your fingers. And like I said, the fence can be really simple. Just a piece of wood or plywood or hardwood that you use clamps, to attach it. But that can get a little annoying adjusting all those clamps. So we're going to have a lot of upgrades to this fence, just like the drill press table. So first of all, we're going to attach our fence using knobs and T-bolts in our T-track. Then we're also going to add dust collection in our fence. So we'll get to that later at the table saw, but we'll also add T-track so we can add accessories like stops and that sort of thing. But I had a little laminate left over from my top, so we're going to add that to the fence first. It's not really super necessary, but it's going to make this a little bit more durable, and we have it, so might as well use it. So let's get started on that. Just like when I laminated the drill press table top, I'm going to spray contact adhesive on the back of the laminate and also on the face of the fence. Once those have tacked off, I'll press the two pieces together and use the J roller to smooth them out. Once the laminate is adhered to the fence, I'm ready to remove the excess with a flush trim bit. Now I could use a handheld router to do this like I did with the drill press tabletop, but I found the router table is a lot easier when working with narrower workpieces, so I'm going to do that. Next, I used a dado blade at the table saw to cut the groove for my T-track. After I cut the groove for the T-track, I actually cut the fence into two pieces. This particular drill press fence has a split fence design for the dust collection aspect of it. After I cut it into two pieces, I cut the outside corners off to create a small chamfer, just so that I don't have a sharp edge there to bump my hand into. And then on the inside, I have a little bit larger chamfer, and that's going to be to create a little clearance for the chuck of the drill. When you're using small drill bits with the fence really close to the center of your drill press table, so that's going to create that clearance. So after that, the last thing I did was I cut small rabbets on the bottom of the fence for dust relief. So as I'm drilling and little bits of dust and chips collect on the table, it's not going to want to push my workpiece away from the fence. They're going to get pushed into that little rabbet. So it's just a nice feature to have. But now that I have two pieces of the fence here, I need a way to hold it together on the table. And that's where this fence base comes into. I'm going to glue these pieces onto the fence base, but I have a little work to do on that piece first. So as I mentioned, there's going to be a dust collection aspect to this fence, and I need to cut a little cutout cove here in the center to accommodate for the dust collection. And to do that, I'm going to use my dado blade, but it needs to be a stopped cut. So I made a mark on the table about 1/4 inch back from where the blade enters the table, and then I have a little stop line here. So I know as I'm making this cut, I know where to stop. Okay, I have the cove cut in the back here for my dust collection. So now all I need to do is cut some tapers to shape my fence base. I'll do that at the bandsaw. Then what I need to do is drill a couple holes that'll accept my T-bolts for my lockdown knobs on my fence. And then I'll be ready to head to the bench and glue on my 2 fence faces. All right, now that I have my fence base all shaped, we're ready to glue on the faces, and we're just about there. So I did a little cheat here. These are going to be spaced an inch apart. So I'm going to stick on a spacer block here in the middle. All right, and then I'm ready to add some glue here on the faces. Don't need a lot. I don't want a lot of squeeze out. So I'm going to spread this out here. Okay. That spacer block's going to not only space the fences apart, it's going to help them from sliding around too much, hopefully. You definitely want to make sure that the fence isn't sliding up on that base either. So if that becomes a problem, you can clamp your base or your fence right down to the workbench. So I'm going to clamp that down just so it's not sliding around, and I'll get a few more clamps on here. All right, we'll let that glue dry and put this into operation. All right, with the fence faces attached to the fence base, we're ready to install. To do that, I'm going to use some T-bolts in the T-track. And then I want to point out that the holes that I drilled for the T-bolts are a little oversized. So for these 5/16 inch bolts, it's a 3/8 inch hole. I'll explain why I did that in a second. So as you can see, they're installed. They're a little loose, and that's just going to help so the fence, moves freely and it's not going to bind as I adjust it. I'm going to put the knobs on here. Okay, so you can see now the fence is going to adjust pretty easily, and then it's got some nice knobs here to lock it down in place. So with that installed, this drill press is now fully operational. So I could stop here, but I want to add one more upgrade, and that's going to be a storage drawer with a vacuum port in the back for dust collection. So look for that video coming soon.